This lesson is on congruent triangles, so as you listen to the video, I want you to follow along with your notes and complete your notes. In class next time, I'll be checking both your notes and your homework to see that both are complete. You will get a completion grade for your notes and a completion grade for your homework. It's important to do both. Alright, so let's talk about congruent triangles. Congruent triangles are two triangles with corresponding angles and sides congruent. Now we had the word corresponding in chapter 3 when we had parallel lines and transversals, and corresponding angles were the angles that are in the same position. This is the exact same thing, but now we've got triangles. We're looking for triangles that are in this, and in the triangles we're looking for angles and sides that are in the same position. Okay, congruent triangles, it's like making an exact match. Put it on the copy machine. Now they might be turned upside down, but they're the exact same shape and the exact same size. So let's make this triangle ABC and this triangle DEF. When you have congruent triangles, the corresponding angles match up and the corresponding sides match up. So that means angle A will match with D, B is going to match with E, and C will match with F. Likewise, the sides will match. So AC is the same as DF, AB is the same as DE, and BC is the same as EF. The notation is to write a congruent statement. So we're going to write triangle ABC is congruent to triangle. It doesn't matter how you write the first triangle, but the second triangle has to match. So since A has the 1 arc mark in it, it's got to match with D. And B has the 2 arc marks in it, so it has to match with E, and then last would have to be F. Alright, so we want to mark the congruent angles and congruent sides in this picture. So these triangles match, they're just rotated differently. And we're going to use this congruent statement to help us. Since C is listed first, C has to match with D. So we're going to make C match with D. Then A is listed second, so A's got to match with O. I'm going to put 2 arc marks in there. And last but not least, T is listed last, so T has to match with G. So we put 3 marks in there. Alright, now we need to mark the congruent sides. Well, it's the same idea. CA is the first 2 letters listed, so CA has to match with DO. AT are the second 2 letters, so AT has to match with OG. And then lastly, C and T are the first and last, so C and T has to match with DG. And that's how we mark the congruent angles and sides on a picture. Alright, given the 2 triangles are congruent, we're going to want to list the 3 pairs of congruent angles and the 3 pairs of congruent sides. We're going to practice writing our notation. Now when we do this, even though they give us this picture, you don't actually need it. So let's make a little table. We're going to have the angles and we're going to have the sides. And we're going to use this congruent statement, remember, this is the congruent statement, to match up the corresponding parts. Well, C is listed first, so C has to match with F. So I'm going to say angle C is congruent to angle F. O is second, so O has to match with L. So I'm going to say O is congruent to L. And lastly, we can see that W would have to be congruent to Y. We're using this congruent statement to help us find the matching parts. Alright, now let's try this. The sides. CO is the first 2, so CO has to match with FL. So segment CO, put the bar over it, is congruent to FL. OW is listed last, so OW has to match with LY. So you have OW is congruent to LY. This is the same thing we did in the last problem, but instead of marking on the picture, now we're writing it out with the letters. Okay, last but not least, CW is the first and the last, so it's got to match FY. Alright, so there's the 3 pairs of congruent angles and 3 pairs of congruent sides. You're always going to have these 6 things when you have congruent triangles. Alright, let's fill in the blanks. So first one, it says KC is congruent to. Well, KC is the first 2 letters. Okay? So KC has to match with ST. So here's KC, so it's got to be the same as ST. So I'll fill this with ST. Now notice how this first one is different from the second one. The second one, it doesn't have a bar over it, and then there's an equal sign. So the second one here doesn't want the name, it wants the measure of that segment. So let's look and see if we can figure it out. Well, SA is the first and last letter, so that's got to match with KR. So SA has got to be the same as KR. Do we know KR? Yeah, it's 3 millimeters. So this one has to be 3 millimeters as well. Alright, now it says angle K is congruent to. Well, K is the first one, so K would have to match with S. So K is the same as S. That's it for that. Now notice how this blank varies from this blank. This one wants the measure of angle C. The M in front of it says the measure. So that means they want to give a number. And there's an equal sign. Another hint, they want a number and not a letter. Okay, well C is the second letter, so C has to match with T. Well, here's C. Let's note it a little differently. Here's C. It's got to match with T. Well, what is T? T is 34. So that's 34 degrees. Okay, now it wants us to find angle A. We can do this. A is last, so A matches with R. So A matches with R. Oh dear, we didn't get that. We can figure this out because we know that K and S are the same, right? So this is 75 and that top T is 34. Well, now we can find A. So by using the facts that we have, we can figure it out. So I'm going to do 180 minus 75 minus 34. 180 minus 75 minus 34 gives us 71. So this angle is 71. So we now know that C is 71 also. Alright, last thing, it wants us to write a congruent statement. So it took what it had and wrote it a different way. So they did CRK. So they did middle, last, first. So in this one, we got to do middle, which would be T, and then last, which would be A, and then first, which is S. So it all matches up. If that was confusing, look at your picture. C was 71. So C has got to match with A. That was the, whoops. Oh, I put some wrong information here. What did I do wrong? I totally confused you. C was 34, right? I don't know why I put 71 in there. So C is 34. Okay. Let's try another example. Given that JYM is congruent to SUN, again, we're going to use the congruent statement. So this first one, because it's got a bar over in congruent, it wants the letters. Well, GM is the first and the last, so it's got to match SN. And it says YM equals, with no bar and equal sign, they're looking for a number. Okay, so let's see. YM is the last two, so it's got to match with UN. So YM matches with UN, so these must be 14 inches. Okay, now they want angle U is congruent to. When there's no equal sign, they're looking for the letters. Okay? Or when there's a congruent sign, they're looking for letters. The equal sign means they're looking for a number. Okay, congruent. Well, U is in the middle, so U has got to match with angle Y. Now they want the measure of angle M. Well, here's M. M is last, so M matches with N. N is 24, so this is 24 degrees. You can write that on the picture so you have it as a reference. Y, they want Y. Well, Y, we know, matches with U. So Y matches with U. Oh, we don't know either one of those. But we know that G is 90, so that means G matches with S, so S has got to be 90 also. So now that we know that, we can find the missing angle. We can do 180 minus 90 minus 24, and what do we get? 66. So this angle is 66. Okay, so that would go here, or go here. They're both the same. Alright, last one. They want NSU is congruent to. Okay, well, if you don't like using the congruent statement, let's use the picture. N we said matched up with N. S had the triangle, so that matches up with G. And U has the square, so it matches up with Y. So you can use the congruent statement to rewrite it or the picture. Alright, example 5. Given that U and L is congruent to SKC, let's see if we can find X and Y. Now, I can't stress enough how much you have to use this congruent statement, because if you don't match up the congruent parts, this is not going to work at all. So let's see if we can find out. First they want X. Well, X is right here in angle N. And angle N is the same as angle K. So what do we know about K? Well, it's 110 degrees. Perfect. So that means that 5x plus 25 equals 110. So we're going to subtract 25 from both sides. So we get 5x equals 85. And when we divide by 5, x is going to be 17. Let's see if we can find y. Y is right here in C. C matches L. And if I look at my picture, oh, I don't know L. Okay? But let's see what we know. U has to match S, right? And U is 34. So if this angle K is 110 and this is 34, we can find angle C. So I'm going to do 180 minus 110 minus 34. Oops, I did it wrong. 180 minus 110 minus 34. Oh my gosh. I thought we have it right now. 36. So that means this angle here is 36. And now that we know that 3y plus 12 has to equal 36. So we'll subtract 12 from both sides. So we get 3y equals 24. And we divide by 3. Y is 8. Alright, let's try that one more time. Example 6. We've got to find x, y, and z. Oh my goodness, but we can do this. Alright, look at your picture. See what you know. X is right here in angle T. T matches N. N is 90 degrees. Okay, so that means this angle here must be 90 degrees. So I'm going to say 6x minus 18 equals 90. Add 18 to both sides, and I get 6x equals 108. 108 divided by 6 is 18. Alright, let's try and find y. Y is in here in O. O matches A. We don't know A, but we do know that N and P match, and N is 56. So if that's 56 and this is 90, I can do 180 minus 90 minus 56 and get 34, which means this angle is 34 and this angle is 34. So we know that 3y equals 34. Divide by 3, we get a decimal, but that's okay, so we get 11.3. Alright, last but not least, Z. Now Z is a side, and how did I know it was a side and not an angle? Well, there's no degree symbol, so that Z is TA. So TA has got to match MO. Now if I look over here, MO is how long? Well, it's 12. So that means that 4Z minus minus 8 equals 12. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. So 4z equals 20. So when I divide, z is 5. Okay, and we're all done today. Now get your homework from the sub and you can work on it and do next class. But remember, I'm going to be looking for completed notes and completed homework next class.